what could be a definition of a business strategy? We can think on a business strategy. We can think on a business strategy that is something that that is a combination of all the decisions and all the actions to be taken to perform a business. So the strategy is everything that we decide and we also act. So we inform, we design the way we are going to achieve or to accomplish the business goals that we intend with our business. So the business strategy could be seen as the backbone of any business. We should, when thinking on any business, we should be able to answer to the question, what is your strategy in the competitive market? So what is the strategy to develop that you pursue or that you follow to secure a competitive position in the market you are working on? So this could be a good contribution for this definition of business strategy. And as I was mentioned, increasingly, and especially as competition is increasing, business strategy could be seen as a source of innovation, as I mentioned before, and could also be, or should also be, part or a component of a business plan or a business project or a business case. So anytime we try to design a business for in this bioproducts area or in other area, but this bioproducts area, every time we try to design a business, we should, yes, we should design the product, we should design the process, we should design the marketing, but we should also design the strategy, the business model. So is what I have to I want to stress in this session. So we follow, and I give you a definition of a business model that you probably could seen before. Is from Osterwalder and Pinheiro, and the definition is from those authors is quite straightforward. Is a business model describes the way an organization creates value, delivers value to the clients, to the customers, and the way it captures part of the value so the company could develop, could be sustainable, and could last a long time. There's many other definitions from what is a business model. The business model is a structure that would give us, or we could use to design a business strategy. So if we look to other authors like Gary Hamel, so authors that are quite well known, Gary Hamel speaks about a business model as a framework, is interesting as a framework. So as the structure that could give us, that should include 4 primary elements that are core strategies around resources, the relation with customers, and the network for creation of value. So some concepts that could match the previous definition from Osterwalder. Other business model definitions could be mentioned. I pick a paper about business models definitions that I can then share with you. The framework and the methodology, and also the tool that I will present and to you in this session, and that in some way I want to sell you. Maybe you did look or work with it before, because it's becoming more and more used across different universities and different organizations and different settings. Is this business model canvas from the two initial authors, so from Yves Pinheiro and Alex Osterwalder. This is so a framework where we should define for a certain business. We could keep ourselves with the business of a simple business of producing and selling a good pizza. So we have a value proposition that is around our pizza. We have the space for specifying what are the customer segments that we are targeting. We have the opportunity to show how we relate ourselves with customers. What are the channels that we use to have our value proposition reaching the customer segments? So this right side of the model, we could look to it as the right side more concerned with the market. So when we are speaking or facing our students from courses that are based on product development or process development, and if we want to have them thinking about the market approach for their product or process development, this tool could have here the basic structure that could allow students and allow ourselves to think about the market conditions that will operate when we think in a business based on a product, based on a process, based on an idea, a business idea. So this part is a more market-oriented part of the framework. And the left side, you can understand it as a more internal part of the business model. Look to it is what are the key activities that we have to organize to develop the value proposition, to develop our pizza, our very good pizza, in my quite simple example. What are the resources we need? The raw material, the people, what are the resources we need? What are eventually some key partners? that we need to have to going ahead with our business, and yeah, in the end, we should end up with the cost structure. So this internal left part of the business model, that is more the internal part of the organization, will cost us. Will cost. We can budget it, and it will cost. It will cost our organization. But the second part, the part related to the market, should allow us to expect some revenue streams, so some income that should cover or match, cover the cost structure. So this is the model. So that is known as the business model canvas. Well, it's not a very fancy name, but it's business model canvas. So there are 9 building blocks. So the 9 blocks that I mentioned, I will go a bit more in detail later on. The 9 blocks are those 9 building blocks, and maybe I can come back to my example of the eventually of the pizza, to show you how we can present this exercise to a team of people, a team of students, a team of people that wants to think about a business, and in this particular case about the strategy for a business, organizing the thinking according to this business model canvas. There are certainly other frameworks that can be used. I believe this one is quite straightforward and quite useful and quite well accepted by people, namely by students, but by people in general. This framework, we can find this framework in different. Actually, we can find this business model canvas in a tool that is called this tool here called Canvanizer. That is a tool that allows us to, in an interactive way, to use this canvas. I will show you. So we have a methodology that is a framework for thinking, for organizing the thinking about the business strategy for a business, existing business, a new business. It could be used for existing businesses. It could be used for new businesses. So let me change for the tool that I believe is quite is this Canvanizer. So the name of the tool that exists in the internet, and we can access to the tool in a free way. So it's called Canvanizer. Okay. So, and we can use the tool to frame our thinking. Let me before show you the tool with just a bit more detail. Let me tell you that the business canvas from those authors that has this look that I did show you before. Is called the canvas, the business model canvas. We can print it in a large format, and so people can draft. So we can exercise the use of the tool with a large printing, and maybe put it on the wall, and we can have a discussion around the table, and using the canvas to write down what are key elements in each of the 9 building blocks. So we don't need to do this in a computer. I will show you the tool in the computer, but basically the tool does need, of course, a computer, and could be just used in a printed version, and we are able to print it. So because you can maybe see here in the let me put this in. So this is a tool that is the copyright of the tool, you know, is this one, is Creative Commons. And so Creative Commons are a way to protect, or a way to license tools and knowledge. And the authors decided that we can use this canvas, we can make copies. You see this symbol, we can make copies, we can reuse, we can add blocks. We just need to say who are the initial authors. So is an attributed like Creative Commons license. So we should say that this is originally developed by Yves Pinheiro and Alex Osterwalder. And saying that we can then using it as is more convenient for us. So in a printed version, or in electronic version based on a web application, on a web browser application. So let's come back to the web application, just to show you in some way how easy it is to make changes and to use this Canvanizer that is now in version 2.0. So the previous version was not so stable. This one is better. So you see, we were speaking about the model, the business model for a pizzeria. Is a pizzeria that produces homemade style pizza, made in an oven, in a wood oven. So a nice paste should be offered. So maybe we can here say that the homemade pizza has ingredients from local ingredients, or I don't know, or you know, natural ingredients. Natural is not maybe the best definition, but local ingredients. So is a homemade star pizza with local ingredients. Maybe we can say something more about the oven. So it's easy to edit, it's easy to insert other blocks. So I could put so local ingredients here as a new block, local ingredients that could give some added value. You know, ingredients is not wrong. down. Let's say, so let me edit again this and save it. You see, so we have the value proposition for our business. The value proposition is a building block that should show to our customers, to our potential customers, what are the value of our product or our process. So the name is not what is your product or what is your process, or is what is the value that you want to present or to sell or to offer to your customer segments. So, and in this particular case, we did select three simple things. It's a homemade style pizza, is produced on a wood oven, and it has local ingredients. Okay, maybe this represents value for some people, and we can start looking for this value proposition could be interesting for what kind of customers, we select here two types of segments. One for families, maybe we can be more specific. How many families? If it's a pizzeria in a town, how many families we can think on that. We can say if it's families with middle income, with high income, with low income. So we can be more specific, and we should be as more specific as possible. But for the first conceptualization of a business model is good enough to have the key concepts. Look, that sometimes they just really ask for what are the key resources, not what are all the resources we need, but what are the key resources that are needed, the resources that make the difference. So here in the segments, we select two types of segments: families and daily lunches. So people that are working and go to our restaurant, because we are speaking on a restaurant, to have a nice lunch based on pizzas that could be quick lunch, could represent a quick lunch, but anyway, a lunch that is not based on food that is, so that is good food, that is food that is good for your health, something like that. So for this, the business should have a restaurant, a physical restaurant, and should have a kitchen, well, a kitchen good enough to produce our product. So this is a possibility of the first components of those building blocks. But the same pizzeria or the same pizzas, these same pizzas could be offered to the market, not based on a restaurant that is an expensive resource, that is infrastructure that needs a lot of staff, a lot of specialized staff for serving, so needs some additional care, and we can think on the same product, but the business could be organized in a very different way. So you know very well that we can have the same pizza the same homemade style pizza, produced in the oven. We also put that is produced with local ingredients. So we can have exactly the same value proposition, but not with a restaurant, but with a delivery system based on bikes or based on solution to home delivering the pizzas. Okay, so and maybe the customer segments will be different. Maybe families will ring our organization calling for one of those beautiful pizzas, but maybe it's also a product that is good for youngsters, is good for young people that wants to have pizzas at home. So this is, as you see, we are not trying to feel all or to think on all the 9 building blocks, but just changing the restaurant for a home delivering system. We are changing the overall business model, and we are changing the strategy that we will follow to develop our business of selling pizzas, our food business. Okay. So in some way, this is a very simple example using an example that all of us well understand what we are thinking about, using this Convenizer that is a free tool that everybody can use for free, but can give us a glance about what is thinking with this framework and putting the right key concepts in each of the 9 building blocks. Okay. So this is what I would like to present you as the kind of application that we can get from using this canvas for a thinking moment to structure a thinking moment about business strategy. And with this, I can change for what we can present as a bit more detailed presentation of each of the 9 building blocks. Okay, so actually in the canvas, in this canvas, in this document, there are some information that is in this format, that it is in small letters, but if we are able to print it in a larger format, there's some orientations for filling each of the 9 blocks. So I will share with you some perspectives of how to fill in each of the 9 blocks, and I will do that just in a few minutes. And maybe before that, I will present you the book that those 2 authors, so Alex and Yves, so a French and a Swiss guy, they write down this book called Business Model Generation. Is a book that at least in Portugal is not so expensive. Part of the book is available in the internet, so free to use. So this part of the book that I'm showing to you is a preview of the book, but that it already have part of the contents that I'm presenting here is well written down here. So so by this preview and by the book, well, it's the words of the authors, but the book is started to be in English, but nowadays is in very different languages. We also did have a translation to Portuguese, but you certainly can have it in many different languages. There's also a site with the same name that could show some additional resources or examples of use. That is this businessmodel.com, businessmodelgeneration.com. Actually, the book had the contribution of many other people. They mentioned at least 400 people that in some way did contribute for the book, and I think this they are right when they say that this concept of business model generation as the basis for the definition of a business strategy is relevant if you are thinking about how to create value and how to build a new business. But as I mentioned before, actually, is also very much relevant if we are not starting a new business, but if we want to improve or transform an existing organization. So could be useful for a startup mode, but could be used for continuous improvement of an organization. So I believe is a piece of knowledge, well organized, that can be used in different contexts, from teaching and learning to consultancy and to business development in general. So and is also a good tool if we are engaged in trying to find innovative ways of doing businesses. So you know that in those days we, as I also mentioned before, one of the main drivers for innovation is not only product innovation, is not only process innovation, is not only marketing innovation. We have to think that one major driver nowadays for innovation in businesses is innovation in the business model. Yes, I could give you many, you know very well, a lot of examples of that, but I can tell you that the house where I'm in this moment is a house that we can use for holidays. That is a house that I can rent to people that I know. But I can also rent through one of those platforms like Airbnb, and I can rent it for people in the world through Airbnb. And in those days, most of the times that I rent this for holidays for 1 week or something, is through Airbnb. So it's not by the site. I did develop a site with this with information about this house, blah blah blah. But I just have people interested in renting my house through Airbnb. Um, The other uh, the other approach, the traditional approach, is someone that saw the site, or someone that knows me, or someone that knows another another family that have been there. I, I don't have any any rental other than those that come through the Airbnb channel. And Airbnb is just a change in the business model. You know, the house is exactly the same. The pool that rent is exactly the same. The care that we have with the house is exactly the same. The people that help us on the cleaning is the same. So everything is the same, and just the way we connect to the market. So parts of the business model, not of the product. So the product is the same, the business model is different, and I can get much more income from renting through Airbnb than trying to rent it in any other through any other way. So and if you think on those Airbnb solutions, actually there are the concept is quite simple. So it's very easy to copy what Airbnb is doing. So nowadays we are seeing that there are too many Airbnbs appearing in the market. So because it's simple, it's just a simple idea. Uh, Everyone could have had that idea of organizing the renting of houses in another way that could be more that could reach to people, that could be more efficient, both for owners and both for people interested in renting houses. So sorry by giving this particular example, but is, as you know, a good example of uh, a change in the business model, not a big change, but a change that was enough to change the world of the renting, the business of renting houses and apartments around the world. And that now is being copied by many other companies because the, the, the difference is a quite simple difference. Well, so this is well, the driver uh, for putting some effort on business, on generating a business model. So this is the book, a definition of the business model that I mentioned before, the 9 building blocks, the canvas that I did present you before, and then a description of each of the 9 blocks that I will do with another document. But this text is available on the internet by free for everybody. Is what they call a preview of the book. So you are welcome to just pick this book. Okay. So I will not go in detail on the book. I just wanted to give you an idea of what we can do with this book. An example of as people trying to think and writing down what they are thinking in using the canvas. So the kind of sessions actually is the kind of sessions that I try to do with my students in classes that are related with business development or with project development. So they have courses in product development, and they have a course in project development or in business development. And I have a few classes, 2 or 3 classes that I devote to business strategy, and I use this tool. The tool is this one. So we can change, rechange. So we will not have solutions in the first trial. So okay. So the book has other chapters, but for this first one, this is enough. So let me change for what could be seen as a brief description of this generation of business models using this particular tool. Okay, so I will make in the next 4 or 5 minutes, and is to conclude. I will make a description of the 9 building blocks that could give you an idea of how difficult or how interesting could be the kind of thinking that is included in a business strategy. Because actually, I also believe that this is a way to integrate different knowledge. So business strategy is not about a knowledge that is separate knowledge from someone that knows about the product, someone that knows about the process, or someone that knows about the resources, the ingredients. So for thinking on business strategy, we have to have the details of the different knowledge that we have when we look to an undergraduate program in any of the applied areas that we can think when we think about bioproducts. Let me start with those 9 blocks, and the first one, they used to start by the customer segments. No, not easy. I prefer, personally, I prefer to start by the middle, by the value proposition, but maybe it's my fault. They say that we should start thinking on what is the customer, what the customer wants. But of course, we have to balance, because the customer, what the customer wants concerning what? Concerning my pizza, concerning my house, concerning a certain product, concerning what? So anyway, when thinking about customer segments, we have to maybe to think about those questions. it's not questions that we have to answer, but there are questions that we have to think about to be able to fill in the customer segment block. So for whom are we creating value? We are creating value for whom? Who is the destination of our product, of our service, of our value? Who will get the value? Who will recognize the value of our proposition? So it's not always an easy question that is easy to answer, because you see, if we are thinking about our pizzeria, maybe a homemade pizzeria is probably the people that can give value to a homemade style pizza probably are different from the ones that want a pizza that is, you know, a Pizza Hut, or a pizza that has a strong marketing image associated, or that. So maybe they are quite different people. So trying to create a good understanding about who is interested on our homemade pizzas could not be easy to understand. And then who are the customers that are more important for us? Who are the customers that are more important? So those are two relevant questions to try to identify what are customer segments. And customer segments, you know, customer segments could be, we could have a product that is not so differentiated, and the market is the overall market, is a mass market product. Of course, if we are selling an undifferentiated product that is of interest of everybody, like sugar in those days, sugar or rice, I don't know, or potatoes. If it's potatoes, maybe it's a mass market product, I don't know. But so if we are able to identify what are really the type of customers that are more relevant for, are really relevant for our value proposition, we will be defining the better strategy for developing a business. Okay, so there's some information about how we can differentiate segments. So a segment is different from another by things like profitability. If we have two types of segments of people that are quite close, but one of those groups of people are much more profitable than the other, this could be enough for us to give two different names and to say that we are working with two different segments, okay? Because one is much more profitable than the other. So, so there's some information about what differentiates segment, some examples of customer segments, and the key questions that have to be answered. So I have to go faster, but this is the approach that you will see across the 9 blocks. So key questions: what is the block, and some examples. So value propositions look some factors, some elements that could be listed as part of value proposition. So let's say the price could be a good component of value proposition, but of course others like design, the design of the product, or the ease of use, or the convenience, very used in food products or in food businesses. It's very convenient for use. So different examples of how to differentiate value propositions. The key questions: what value we will deliver to our customer? What is the problem that we are solving to our customers? Sometimes we are not solving the problem, so but we are in the other question that we are satisfying a certain kind of need. This is the value proposition. Then channels are a key, a very important building block, because look, channels could be used to give awareness to the market of our product, to raise awareness of our product or service. So marketing, everything. The channels can be used to offer the possibility of evaluation. So in different markets, evaluation is very important. It's important in food, but it's important in the car market. If you are going to buy a car, you want to make a test drive to evaluate the car. You see, evaluation. Then the process of acquisition, paying, the channel to pay could be very relevant in areas like distance buying, or electronic commerce, or things like that. How we are going to deliver, and everything that is concerned to after sale, very important in some areas. So key questions to help to think about. Then customer relationship. So how we will manage the relation with our customers. So we will be able to get more customers buying our product or our service, and having our clients well satisfied, so they could recommend others to look and to buy our product. So increase sort of motivations for this building block is to increase customers, to retain customers, and to increase the sales, of course. So every time there's a kind of way to keep closer to our customer base by using a card, using some points, offering something that keep us closer to customers. So there's even there's even software that is called that has this name. There's software, there's applications that help us to organize customer relationships. So software that is called CRM, Customer Relationship Management. So there are a class of softwares that help us to organize this relation with customers. So we can go in deep on what is customer relationship. So and this should offer us a revenue stream that we could try to calculate roughly. From the left side, that is probably more easy for us. We have to identify what are the key resources and what are the key activities. So resources could be everything that resources could be physical resources, intellectual resources, human resources, financial resources. So what are the resources we need? So we need a kitchen. We need a delivery method. We need a certain type of staff. So what are the resources? And then a bit different, what are the activities? So we need an activity for the pizzas. So for the pizzeria, we need an activity that is kitchen. We need people that are good cookers. So cooking the pizzas is an activity. Cooking that needs a resource, that is a kitchen, needs ingredients that are also resources, but is an activity, that is cooking. You see, cooking is an activity, kitchen is a resource, and the cookers are another resource, human resource in some way. So this is the other building blocks. So key activities, okay, key activities, and finally we can have key partnerships that are external partners that could be relevant for our business model. Not only every supplier is not a key partner, so maybe there's one or another supplier that can be a key partner, but we can have key partners by other reasons. And there's a cost structure, there's a cost that activities going on, resources that we have to hire or we have to buy, maintaining key partners that could have a cost structure associated. So this is in rough what are the 9 building blocks that end up and we have to think about to fill in what is a business model for a company, for a business, and in that way end up with a business strategy to develop that business activity. So I think is what I have to tell you, and what I could say as my last words for this webinar. Okay. So if there's some questions, please. I well understand that the 1 o'clock time is already end up. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope this could be useful for you in some way. As I told you, this could be useful for teaching, this could be useful for learning,
Thank you for interesting presentation.
So, if there are any questions, thank you. Thank you very much. Any question, I'm available, and actually I hope to find you someone in Armenia as soon as this situation will allow us to travel and to meet people, because we are a bit full of closed somewhere doing things. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Very well. So, bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Goodbye, everybody. Адьо,